turn this here. Trying to do this without giving people vertigo or anything like that. What would that do? Okay. Fortunately, this mechanism here isn't really working. Okay, well, this is what we're going to do. I have to set this a little bit here. And I'll tell you exactly what the settings are that I am using for this particular setting here. Okay, we are going to be using the neutral setting amp because we're going direct to the Roland KC 110. It's a small keyboard / PA amp, and it only has volume low and highs. So it's equivalent of, it would be the equivalent as if you'd ran this, the ME90 into a PA speaker. And so I'm using the preamp section here, but I'm only going to be using the neutral or the natural settings. The gain is at about, let's see, about 11. Bass, middle, treble, and its level is at 12 o'clock. And with the foot switch off, meaning the overdrive off, this is what we sound. Yours truly again, Rockin' Dave here, the real deal, North Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. I'm hoping that this comes out because we are preparing for the next hurricane, Hurricane Milton, and so far it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad, even though it's out in the Gulf as a Category 5. We're hoping that we have enough wind gusts to lower down the category as it hits. And we just hope it doesn't hit anybody, man. We don't need any more. But I figure I might as well do this now, because if I do anything live tomorrow, I might just show, the preparation for the hurricane and everything. So, but this is kind of a long time coming to do this with all the distortions in here. And I'm only picking one amp setting here, because if I go through all the amp settings and all the distortions, it could be a very long video. And frankly, I really don't have time for that, especially right now. So, with any further ado, this is going to be the overdrive distortion setting. And right now, I got it. We're going to start from the boost, go all the way to the muff fuzz. And I have the drive all the way up. The tone is at 12. The level is at tone. This is without the overdrive kicked in. This is with the boost kicked in. If I bring the drive down. If I bring the drive up, you see here how it opens up. So that's basically what that'll sound like. Now with the neck pick. Now with the switch picking up the neck and bridge pickup. Okay, so that's what that sounds like all the way up. So we'll go to the overdrive setting, which this is mimicking the Boss OD1 distortion. And again, it's distortions all the way up. Our drive is up. Tone is at 12, and the level is at around 12. Now, if I roll down my volume, and I roll it back up, neck pickup. both neck and bridge pickup. So nice, good, crunchy sound. And let's see. And the guitar I'm using is the PRS SC model. So the pickups are equivalent to the PAF pickups. So they're not real high output pickups. This way, you get really a better idea of how much drive and distortion this thing really, I could put out without downloading anything from the Tone Labs or the Tone Central or anything. This is as if you were to buy this and take it right out of the box. So that is the Overdrive, again mimicking the Boss OD1. Now the T-Scream is just as you would think. It's the Ibanez Tube Scream, and I'm pretty sure this is mimicking the TS-808. Definitely a lot of more mid-range. And again, I got my toggle switch for my bridge pickup. Let's go to the OD1 and okay, now let's go back to the Tube Screamer. Definitely noticeable more mids right there. That's neck pickup. Now here's both neck and bridge pickup. And again, if you roll down the volume, yeah, you can definitely hear the mid-range. So that's what that sounds like. And now we're going to go to the center, the center Overdrive. I guess it's like the clone. Let's see. Okay, definitely a drop in the mids. So here is the center, and here is the Tube Screamer. Center. Yeah. Neck pickup. Neck and bridge. And again, this will also clean up. Okay, now we're going to move on to the blues driver, and this is mimicking the Boss blues overdrive. And again, the drive is all the way up. Tone is at 12, level is at 9 or at 12. When I switch to each different setting here, you notice how we'll move the drive a little bit, because I want to make sure that I'm on a new setting, that it's not remembering the old setting that it has. Because this thing, each setting you switch to, it's going to remember its previous location, if that makes any sense. So that's why I'm setting that. So definitely much more distortion. Neck pickup. Now neck and bridge pickup. Now let's see how well that cleans up with the drive all the way up. Okay, so now we're going to go in. This is going to be, notice that it changes. When you go from the overdrives, this light is now green. It might not show up. Now in the blues, here, it seems it's a little bit more, how can I say, more yellowish green, but more like a yellowish. I don't know what's coming up on the screen, but that's how it actually is. When I go to distortion, now it starts to change colors into like orangish red. And this is definitely mimicking the Boss DS1 or DS2, the Boss, the famous orange distortion pedal. how the neck pick up. Both neck and bridge. Now we'll see how well that cleans up with the drive all the way up. Let's see. Not bad. So the more gain that the drives have, the harder it is to clean up with the drive all the way up. And that kind of makes sense. Now we're going to switch to Boss's turbo distortion. And I think on the ME80, I'm going to do a comparison between the ME80 and the ME90 here. But I think the ME80 not only has the turbo distortion, but I think it also has a turbo overdrive. Or it's both the same, but the more you bring up the drive, it activates the turbo distortion. But that's said in a later video. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, now we go back to the regular distortion. It seems to have more full body than the turbo distortion. More mid-range, I think. Yep. It almost sounds like I have the wah pedal on, and I don't. Neck pickup. Neck and bridge. Now we'll see how well that cleans up. Bring the volume on the guitar to number 2. So that's what that sounds like. That's the turbo distortion. Now, the rat distortion, which is pretty interesting. Back in the day, when the very first version of the rat pedals came out, I had one. It was a slightly bigger box than what you're seeing now, meaning its size. And at that time, I owned a Lab Series L5 amp. It was a solid state 212. I think Gibson owned Lab Series. And it worked pretty good through the Lab Series. But we'll see what the Boss's version of the rat distortion is. Actually, a lot smoother than what I remember the rat sounding like. I think the rat might have sounded more like this. Yeah, I had more of that. You hear that hissy? But I'm going to take the tone back up. Now the neck pickup. Now neck and bridge pickup. Almost sounds a little muffled right there. Now leaving the settings right there, we're going to turn down the volume. This, again, me turning the volume down is on the bridge pickup. We'll see how well that cleans up. I'm not expecting it to. Yeah. And again, what you really have to do to get true to some of these pedals, mess with the tone. Now that's out of the box. If you hook it up to the computer, there's all kind of things you can do to it. But I really like to test these things right out of the box because, you know, to me, I think the stuff that's offered on the computer is always, it's an added bonus. You know what I mean? But it shouldn't be you have to hook it up to get a good sound, because to me, if you got to hook it up to a computer to get a good sound, it's like I really have no use for it, you know. And another thing you got to think about too, how well the settings will sit in a full band or a band mix. What sounds good by itself, sometimes when you mix it in with other instruments, doesn't really sound good. So that's another thing to take in consideration. But yeah, that's their version of the Rat Proco Rat distortion. Now we're gonna go to the metal distortion, and I got a feeling this is gonna be like their metal zone, the Boss metal zone. Very hissy. Neck pickup. Neck and bridge pickup. Now bridge. Okay, now I'm not expecting this to clean up too much at all. We're gonna roll down the volume on the bridge pickup. Yeah, not really too much to clean up, because there's just so much in it. So again, I'm doing this at full drive, where the drive is all the way up, so you get an idea. I mean, if I turn this down, yeah, let's see what happened. Yeah, if I turn the volume down on the guitar, so that's what that sounds like. It's giving you an idea. Okay, now we go to the metalcore, and this is again another Boss version of their own pedal called the metalcore. So. Neck pickup. Neck and bridge. Bridge pickup. Now, I'm not expecting this to clean up at all, but we'll see. Might be surprised. Yeah, see? So at some point, when you add in gain and drive and distortion, gain and drive and distortion, it's just gonna just fizz out. Now here is the muff fuzz, and let's see what this is. This is their take on a big muff. And like the Proco Rat, I had a big muff. I think I bought it in 1980 or 80, no, maybe 81. It was cool. You know, we didn't have a whole lot, you know, offered to us like we have now. So you literally had, and we had no YouTube, so you literally had to you go to the music store and try it, and you try it on a different amp or a different guitar. You bring it home on a different guitar that you own, a different amp. Then that's when you find out what works, what doesn't work. Neck pickup. Both neck and bridge. So now we're going to try to clean that one out. Not expecting. No, like. I forgot how to play that, but. So that's what these sound like. Now, again, it's going to take a lot longer for me to go through each different one. I might do that on a different video, but I just wanted to zoom in on what the overdrive and distortions sound like. And just make sure that we're okay there. If you're like myself doing more fusion music, you're going to tend to want to go using the overdrives a little more, only because it's going to suit your style. It's definitely going to suit your taste more. And all I used for this quick demo was just a natural amp setting, a little bit of hall reverb, and that's it. Because I didn't want to mask anything with the distortion once you get a good idea what it will sound like. I know there's a lot of different pedals on the market that do a lot of good things. What's really cool with this, I haven't tried it going through any of my amps, but I definitely want to try this through the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, and just use it just as a pedal board, and use the amp settings very sparingly, because there is a way I could do that. Well, this could be more of a crunch if I want to crunch the X crunch channel. Use that when I need it, and then use this for more higher output distortion or overdrive. But other than that, let's see the blues. When you use it just for a clean setting the blues driver seems to have a little bit more. Uh, if I use it with the Secura, and now let's say if I want to add the compressor, well, I could use it as a booster. It's a tube screamer, or here's the Boss Overdrive. So that's how that sounds, guys. So leave it with that. And just want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're gonna see if we could do anything live tomorrow if we need to, and we'll keep everybody posted on the storm. We are staying here at the house, and we got our shutters down. I don't know if you can see this. Let me if I can do this. Yeah, those are our storm shutters. We got those down. So all throughout the house. Tomorrow we'll be taking stuff out of our lanai, putting it in our shed. Got our doors secured. We shouldn't be too bad. I know it looks bad, but that hurricane is still out in the Gulf, and what they're saying eventually it's going to start to slow down. I hope it just slows down completely, doesn't hit anybody, but we'll keep everyone informed and posted and all that. So, all right, my friends, I hope this has been helpful. So, if you're thinking about getting one of these, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there on this and a few others. I know they got that Valtone GP200. That sounds pretty cool. It's got a nice large screen, and it does have the settings for like your amp settings. So we have just like here, bass, middle, and treble. So those are your basic knobs, which is pretty cool. It is almost like the Valtone almost is doing a combination of a layout, except they have the metal foot switches like on the drop, like that. They got that type of a foot switch. The top rows, the switches sit higher than the bottom row. So like the ME90, these sit higher than those, which is a good idea. But that Valtone, Valtone GP200 sits somewhere in between the Boss ME90 and the Line 6 Pod Go. We get a lot of amp sims and cabs and effects out of there. That's pretty awesome. I was very impressed. Yeah, but anyways, if you get one of these, this is basically my suggestion is do the research, watch as many videos as possible, and pay attention to how you're going to use it. And still, after you watch all the videos, mine included, when you get one of these, make sure there's a return policy. And if you are a gigging musician, I would suggest get one of these or any effect unit that you're planning on buying maybe a week prior to your gig, so that you can get familiarized with the pedal. And then when you do your gig, you're gonna see exactly how well it's gonna do. And hopefully you have a couple of gigs lined up in a row, so you could get multiple uses. Then if you're not satisfied with what it's doing, then you could always take it back and exchange it for something else. Or if you're just using it for YouTube videos or a studio session, whatever, then that's fine. But again, you could watch a million videos, but there's nothing like you getting the unit yourself and messing with it and tweaking it on your own. That is going to give the true. You could get what it really can do when you do that, guys. So, anyways, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll keep you posted when this hurricane. But we go live. We'll let you know tomorrow. Until then, you guys stay strong, safe, and true. Rock on, and God bless you. Thank you so much for watching.